Hello and welcome everyone to yet another episode of ProParent podcast. And I'm Urvashi, your host and a child and teen behavioral expert certified from Stanford. This is the place where we discuss things which are sensitive, which are not so sensitive, which are concerning for parents, which are intriguing for teenagers, something that we all want to ask about but don't know where. So, we brought this podcast specially to you so that we can have real conversations with real kids and real teenagers and know from them how to deal with so many things that parents like us want to know about. And trust me, you don't want to miss today's podcast episode because today we are discussing something that is permeating into all our lives, taking control, and we are all trying to figure out how to deal with this situation. And you guessed it right. We're going to talk about screen time, social media, and how all this is shaping our young teenagers and children's mind and what's it turning them into. And just to keep things real and on point today, we have invited some very young and enthusiastic kids on our show who are not kids anymore but are just turning into young teenagers and adults and who have witnessed the expanse of social media throughout their life. So let me invite or welcome them today to our podcast. We have today...
Hi, my name is Anahat Misra. I'm in 11th grade.
Hello, my name is Ghanshyam Mudaliar and I'm also in 11th grade.
My name's Tanishka and I'm from Jamna by 11th grade.
Alright, thank you so much Anahat, Ghanshyam and Tanishka. We are very, very excited to have you on board today, and I think we are going to have some really important but meaningful conversations, isn't it?
Yes.
Great. So, my first question to you being Gen Zs, right? Growing up with, phones and social media as a normal part of your life, can you guys actually live without your phones? Ever?
I don't think I can live without my phone because I constantly have the anxiety that, maybe some teachers texted me or I'm in jam, which is in our school. So I'm what if there's a meeting that I'm not aware about? So I feel there's this constant pressure to just be up to date with everything.
Okay. What about you, Ghanshyam?
Similarly to what she said, there's always this constant, I would say, FOMO. So basically missing out, not exactly work, of course.
Which we commonly call as fear of missing out,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's this constant fear that you're missing out on, I don't know, meetups, some friends are meeting up here and there, some parties going on, or maybe even work. A teacher has messaged you, someone has called you, something like that. So there's always that fear. And obviously, it being this handheld device that you're carrying around wherever you go, you constantly have this power in your hand that you know what's going on in your life, and you have planned out everything. So you don't want to lose that power. That's the.
Is it only about your life or knowing everything about others' lives?
I guess that is also another factor that we need to consider. A lot of people that you meet on a daily basis and a lot of friends, and of course there's also that fact that the thing you need to keep up with, what's going on. It could be just casually checking out what they're doing, how's their life, how is it going. But sometimes, of course, that thing that happens, you're sitting at home, you're studying, and then they're hanging out, there's some party going on. That's a thing, yes.
But let me ask you, Tanishka, do you think this curiosity has become a gripping sense over teenagers and youngsters today, that they have to know what is going on? They have to, be updated with everything. Why do you think this need has arrived today in teenagers, that they have to be with their phone all the time?
I feel it's that way because because of social media, information is being spread so easily. And if you don't know one thing and another person's oh my god, you don't know what's going on here. So it's basically, I feel it's more centered on that. People think they need to know everything so that they're more accepted.
I think this is a very interesting point that Tanishka has brought into the picture, that along with what you both rightly mentioned, that it's a way of being in touch with whatever is happening and being up to date and not missing out on social gatherings. But it's also the fear of looking like a fool where in a world everybody knows everything and you don't want to look like somebody who doesn't know. And then at this age, I can assume safely, right, that embarrassment levels are felt very deeply, and just not to be looked down upon, also you need to be on your phone all the time. Is this a fact? Do you feel so?
Yeah, even if not just embarrassment, I feel like, like a lot of memes come up. So I feel like, people keep referencing those memes and everything. And I feel like you also kind of want to be a part of that inside joke. So I think
Right.
that also plays a big part on, why we keep on like checking our phones and see what's like the latest news and everything.
Absolutely. And so don't we all, right? Not just you, but all of us do this. Now, I'm sure you all must have gone through this phase where just talking about being addicted to screens, because a lot of parents are listening to our podcast today or watching us, and I'm sure they want to know, when parents, worry so much that you and your friends are all the time on the phone, do you find that they are overdoing it, or because this is a normal part of your life, or do you actually feel that when they ask you to reduce your screen time, or they're constantly on your case to manage it better, do you think there is some wee bit sense in what they're trying to tell you, and what are your opinions on that?
I feel like there's an obvious generation gap because they've grown up where they've lived without phones. But here I feel like everything's incorporated in like screen time, especially like studies even. So I feel
Right.
like that way they don't understand. I feel like they're trying to understand, but there's obviously like a disparity. But somewhere they do make a bit of sense because half the time when I'm actually on my phone, I'm not doing anything productive. So I feel like they do make sense.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think?
To answer this question, I'll actually like give you a common scenario that usually happens at my household. So it's just me, like right now we have vacations going on, so like I'm hooked to my phone completely. So I am on my bed, I'm scrolling reels or something mindlessly, I'm just going on and on and on and on. Then my mom comes yelling in my room and she's like, stop it. Just stop watching whatever you're doing. Give your eyes some rest, maybe reduce your screen time. Of course, on the like at the heat of the moment, of course you get angry as well, and then you're nothing happens, aisa kuch nahi hota. But the thing is that whatever they say makes sense. Yes. And as Anhat said, most of the time, again, you're just mindlessly scrolling, and this kind of micro satisfaction that you get from reels, and that instant and constant dopamine hit, gratification, right? So that is pointless. You're not going to remember what you've watched. Whatever you watched carries no value. So of course what they say makes sense. But again, keeping addressing your previous question as well, there's this common phrase like, have you been living under a rock? Yeah. So keeping up with memes, maybe some news or something that's going around, that's very important as well. So yes, to some extent, again, they're right. I won't say they're wrong, but we do have a point there. It is important you keep up with everything, but whatever you do should have some value.
Absolutely. What do you have to say, Tanishka?
I feel like their intentions are in the right place, and sometimes they do make sense, yes, of course. But like, I don't think parents understand that like being off social media for us is a very alienating experience. Because everyone's talking about this one thing and you don't know anything about it. And like sometimes their demands, they don't make sense. It's like 1 hour only. It's like you can't do everything in 1 hour, right? So like, yeah, but like I do feel that they are right. And like, yeah, we need to stop with the instant gratification loop that the social media has.
And do you think it's possible for you all to stop?
No, I don't think.
I mean, like if we put in enough like effort, I think we can.
But only in the mindlessly like scrolling part. Like, when you actually do something productive, then there's no way you like cannot be on your phone.
Right.
But I mean, it's fun to be addicted to like scrolling, I feel.
Yeah. But do you guys ever wonder that by some magical power within you, using your or exercising your willpower, if you could only use your phone for productive, or utilize it correctly, do you think you would be able to contribute a lot to different other areas of your life rather than just mindlessly scrolling? Because, according to a research, recently, what came up was that, teenagers actually spend 2 to 3 hours minimum every day on mindless scrolling and unproductive things on their phone. And that literally amounts to, 20 to 25 hours a week, and that's 100 hours in a month. Think about it, right? Is it just us adults who feel this, or do you at your level feel that as well, that we could have been, probably doing something better or more productive, or utilize this time better for ourselves?
I mean, definitely. Even though I like scrolling, I feel like there's so many things I could do, like maybe, invest in a hobby or something like that. And, I feel like there's this term as well. It's like every time one of us, like teenagers, get a burst of motivation, we call it like being locked in. So we keep telling other people that, now I'm going to be locked in, now I'm not going to check my phone, I'm going to study and everything. But I mean, we rarely go through with it. But
I know, isn't it? It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough for everyone. What about you, Tanishka? What do you think? You think this time could be put to some better use, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I do think the time could be put to better use because, like, I have many hobbies and skills I want to like improve on. But, like you have the phone, you have the easy way out. Why can't I just go do that? So, yeah, like if I had some magic pill, I would definitely use it.
Good to know.
I don't want to divert the track of the conversation, but yeah, definitely. Firstly, and obviously it puts like this whatever time you get. If you want there's another term to this, doom scrolling. So basically, you just scrolling mindlessly, going on, and it's again no value to the whatever you've spent time on. But at times I've seen this this happening to me on almost on a daily basis. I might be checking YouTube, I might have searched up something for, suppose, say how to cook this, how to do something, I don't know. But I am suddenly 10 minutes later stuck scrolling. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I always forget what I've switched my phone on for.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
We all go through that. So, that just brings me to the next question. So, what are the most common social media applications on which teenagers are right now? Like, which platforms do you use to communicate, or just scroll, or what is getting teenagers hooked nowadays?
I think Instagram. I feel like that's the main culprit. Because it has everything. You can text your friends, you can upload your own pictures, you can watch videos. I feel like they've really ticked all the boxes to get someone addicted.
So it's a unanimous Instagram,
Yes.
is it?
It's
All
the
right.
modern day Facebook.
It's the modern day Facebook, absolutely. And we were addicted to Facebook. You guys are addicted to Instagram, right? So we were no different. But I guess we are all in our way trying to understand how to utilize this technology better. But yeah, it is an effort. Like, you guys are right about that. So let me ask you this. Talking about Instagram, it's a wonderful place to be at, but it can sometimes get very overwhelming as well as a teenager, because this is the time, you guys are going through hormonal changes, you're trying to make new friends, exploring life beyond school. And how much of your life do you think actually gets influenced by Instagram, where you or your friends or whatever you have observed, in your social circle, that people feel that at this age, this is what is supposed to happen? Or is Instagram putting a mold that everybody needs to fit into at a particular time, at a particular age? And what if they don't? Just talk to me about this. It's very interesting for me to know. And I'm sure, because a lot of problems, let me tell you, as a child and a teen psychologist, which I hear both the sides, your side and your parents, not your parents, but parents, when they talk, that children have become very demanding. Children have become very anxious if certain standards of perfection or materialistic possessions are not met, or certain ways of traveling are not met, to the extreme being always wanting to travel by business class, or always while traveling wanting to make sure you're going to a particular restaurant, clicking pictures of the food there, posting it. Your whole agenda is uh, around how can we make our entire trip Instagram worthy, isn't it? Right?
Yes.
So, yeah, I just want to know, in terms of career or trends or appearance, how is this social media, shaping your thoughts and minds?
Do you guys now want to go first? I feel like, yeah, okay.
Just an order.
Okay. Rather than being, I think, influenced, I'm more inspired. Because, like, when I see like content creators wear a certain outfit from a certain brand that they're promoting, like, and I see how good it looks on them, then I feel like I want to buy that too. And like most of the times I do end up buying it and then wearing it. Or when I feel like food places on Instagram, even I want to go there, like these like aesthetic Instagrammable places. So like even I want to go there and like click those nice pictures of food and like post it with my friends.
And what if you don't?
I
Do
don't
you feel that you missed out on a very important thing, or why are these things becoming so important, is what I want to understand.
I
for
think me
youngsters.
personally, it doesn't bother me if I don't get like a good picture, if I don't post about it. But I feel like the why people would want to post it is because they want to show, other people that they went to like a restaurant in Italy, or they went to like a, really good restaurant. So I feel like, it's more about showing others about the life that you're living.
Right. And do you think sometimes it can be very competitive, or it can become a reason for other people feeling not good enough, or their life not being on point? What do you have to say about that?
Definitely, yeah. At times, it might be like the smallest thing that maybe my a friend has something I don't have. It could not. It could be anything. Like he has a watch, he has a ring. I like the ring. I don't have the ring. It could be anything. Or maybe they have a certain skill that I do. I lack. Maybe he looks better, I don't. It could be anything, but that comparing, that is constant. And I think that's one of the driving factors for platforms like Instagram, where apart from the fact that you're sharing what's going on in your life, you have that constant something that's poking in your subconscious that you need to be better than him or her, or you need to show them that ऐसा हो रहा है, like it's going, I'm like I'm popping off, this is going good, that's going good, and my life is going good, I'm here, I'm eating now, then I've gone to watch a movie. That question should arise. If you were showing every part of your life, it is always the, not even the good aspect, it's always the best aspect that you're showing and you're sharing, because that's the factor, that's the key factor that shows that apart from you just sharing what's good and what's going on in your life, you're also trying to show that my life is better. And maybe if the receivers end, if I'm talking about like who's watching my story, or who, if I am the one watching that type of a story or a reel or a post, I don't know, them, they wouldn't feel overwhelmed, or they wouldn't feel undermined instantly. But yeah, that feeling exists. Whatever you're watching, whatever you see, that does occur in your mind, that okay, oh my god, they've gone to Paris, then now they're roaming around in Paris, I wish I could be there. But it doesn't affect you. But again, yeah, that I would say, I wouldn't say jealousy, because that's a really strong word, but yeah, that that compare, self comparison, and comparing yourself with them, that's constant.
Can I add something to this, Ghanshyam? And I really want to know your perspectives. Is social media defining our meaning of happiness? Because it's something I want to know, because when you say that somebody's in Paris and somebody's eaten in a boutique restaurant or Michelin star restaurant, or somebody's skydiving here and snorkeling there and going to this beach or this mountain, and you are not, and you're constantly seeing that, is it in some way making us constantly feel, if I do that I'll be happy, if I do that I'll be happy? Because to some it could not, but some who are vulnerable may only feel that only if I do these XYZ things in this particular way, and then it's only that I can be happy. And would you think that this is where I could actually use the term ignorance is bliss? That when you don't know so much around you, and when you're constantly not bombarded with all this overload of information of who's doing what, and you're constantly having to think, is that better, or what am I doing is better, wouldn't you be more relaxed and peaceful and happier? What do you have to say about this, Tanishka?
Like in my friend group, I have like many friends like who are really pressured by the online standard of romance. Like they feel that like if you're not dating by the age of 16 or something, that means you're not lovable or something like that. I have a friend like that. But then like after like she took a break from Instagram or something like that, she actually was peaceful. Like she understood that it doesn't mean like just because other people are in a relationship and they're happy, it doesn't mean that you have to be one to be happy. So I feel like that just makes sense with what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so you do agree to that. What about both of you?
I feel like we unknowingly also comply to the standard, because I feel like, you think that when you go to a good restaurant and you post there, that's
Yeah.
happiness, like going to a good restaurant and, showing everybody that you are at that restaurant, that's happiness. Posting a picture in which you look really good, and like a nice pose, I feel like when you post that and people like it, that's happiness.
What if you feel that you looked really good in a picture and you posted it and nobody liked it? Would you start thinking differently about yourself? Does that happen?
You would doubt yourself, but then it's not that strong, I would say. Like it would feel somewhere that am I really not looking that good? So like yeah, there's a doubt, but it doesn't really affect you that much.
Yeah, I don't think it affects
But have you
that
all
much.
come in contact with your friends or anybody who do get really affected by
Yes,
these things?
I have people, like counting the likes on their story and everything, and it's not that they're very insecure. I feel like they just want to see who's liked it. I feel like because even guys like your stories to like shoot their shot and everything. So I feel like that happiness as well, that this number of guys found that like I was really pretty and everything. So I feel like that also, it's like, I don't know, it's a message. The likes are kind of like a message that these many people like you, these many people think you're pretty, they think you're hot, they think you're cool and everything.
Right. And not necessarily everyone can be at that standard, right? And then so many of us start doubting ourselves if you're not getting that external validation, right? Do you have anything to say about that? Like, have any of you all ever probably not received that kind of external validation, and what has that made you feel, and how have you dealt with that?
I would be the wrong person to talk about, posting about myself, because I never post about myself. But whenever I do, it's always about maybe I have this I have a perfect example to explain this matter. Just yesterday, I posted one of my covers, which had it recorded for I think 10 days or something. It was a song, a very popular Bollywood song right now, and right after I posted, maybe it was the timing, or maybe I did post it kind of late, so I don't know what it was, but it didn't reach what expectations I had. There was I think around some 50 likes or something, and then 200 views, and then I completely shut down. I was like, I worked so hard on this, 10 days of hard work put on this, and then that's it. And then it did affect me, but I wouldn't say that would be some kind of a validation. it would be more of like, like I wouldn't doubt myself for sure. I would doubt the post though. Like if it didn't work out, that would be my first, the thing that would come to my mind. But apart from that, I would just feel like, maybe these people didn't like what I did, but I wouldn't really care too much about it. But it does hurt when you've put too much effort. Like those 10 days of just constant recording and stuff. After that, I wouldn't be self doubt, but it would just be, like I would just feel down. Maybe I would feel a bit sad. So it does hurt, but the validation wala factor is like very, very less. It doesn't affect you that much, especially when it's about, if suppose it was a story or something, and I haven't put much effort to it, and I don't really care about it. I don't check my likes and how it's going. But if it's something I've put effort into, definitely, then it will hurt you. Yeah, that's the thing. Yes.
Right. What do you think, Tanishka? Have you gone through something like this?
Not really. But like, yeah, people do use social media as a substitute for internal validation. Like when you can't like find something like you're not like secure about yourself, you obviously turn towards social media so other people can like, compliment you. But like when you don't get that, it does affect some people, yeah.
And you've seen young friends of yours getting affected. So when you say getting affected, what do you mean? Like, what do they usually end up feeling, or how does?
They usually like change their personality to match what's going on. And like that gets really irritating because that's not who they are.
Really?
Yeah, like people change, like they change the way they talk, the way they act, and like even if you don't like something and it's popular, you force yourself to like it, to just fit in.
To just fit in. Yeah. So, do you also know of people who don't have Instagram and have been bullied or trolled for it?
Yes, I know. Tanishka. No, you're not bullied for it. I
So-
bully her for it.
Let me ask you, Tanishka, what kept you away from Instagram for so long? Was it your parents or your own need to be away from social media? What motivated you, to swim against the tide, and a very strong one that too?
Like I had a lot of friends in my building who were like really old, like they had Instagram and stuff, and I had seen like the way it affected them, and I was like, okay, I am not doing this until like I'm elder enough, like to manage myself, because like I know that if I like download Instagram the other day, I will get affected, but like I want to get to a stage where that I know that something else won't affect me, and that's when I think I'll download it. Because like the effects, like everyone around you, and you're seeing how it's affecting everyone so badly, so that just keeps you away from it.
So can you tell me a little bit more about what did you observe in your friends that actually kept you away? Like when you say they got affected really badly, what have you seen? How are people actually suffering? What are the consequences?
It's basically like the bad side of the internet. Like, we were really young back then, like 6th, 7th grade. And like these people, they got social media and stuff, and the way they behaved completely changed. Like they used words they never used before. It was just like seeing another person, and like, what they valued also changed in a way, because first like we were friends and we used to talk, but now it was more about like popularity. Like, it just completely like fundamentally changes a person. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Like if you're really insecure, then yes, but like if you're like a normal person, it doesn't affect you that much.
Right. So, this is a very, very, very interesting point, that you start projecting something that you feel people will like you for, rather than being yourself. You consciously start masking your true nature, your true identity. You start assessing yourself very critically, so that you can always put on a perfect image so that everybody can like you, right? And I think this whole like culture has even translated into real life, where now liking shouldn't just be a part of that social media platform, but now you have to always be liked by everyone, right? So that brings me to a very important next question, is just between you three, are you the same person online as you are offline, or you feel it's affected you as well, or maybe if you want to tell me a little bit about your friends that you've seen.
I would say to some extent, yes, I am the same person online as I am offline. But I would say a major difference is that online you wouldn't find me like talking to my friends and stuff in the same way as suppose on like a reel or a post we're chatting, we're texting, or we're commenting on another friend's post or something like that. Like suppose I have this really good friend of mine who is gonna come later on. So Nick Ghosh.
Yeah.
So later last week, I think last week, yes, he made a post, and all of my friends, like our whole friend circle, we just made like good comments, and like you look really good, that this. And if this had happened IRL, like, in real life, we would have completely bullied him and like obviously in the fun way, and then pull his leg, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. And so that like kind of an image that you need to uphold amongst the general public, that people, like I have a lot of followers that I don't even know, like they're just friends of friends, or maybe friends of friends of friends, I don't really know them a person, or someone I've been chatting to online or something like that. So that's personal, this image that you uphold. I'm not, I wouldn't, I would like talk to you normally, I'm very profesh, that type of an image that you uphold. Well, that's the only differentiating factor. So another way to put it would be just that I am different when I am around people and people I know, and I would be more friendly, I would be more like chill, and I wouldn't have this managing myself, like the way I'm sitting, and then now the way I'm talking. If I was like with a friend, I would just be sitting like this, I'm talking normally, so that thing is always there. Yeah.
So when you're on a social media platform, you're very image conscious.
Yes.
And you have a social media persona to live up to. Is this what you see nowadays generally with friends and everybody?
Yeah, I feel like it's not that we're trying to be somebody else. I feel like we just uphold ourselves to a certain standard. Like, if we post a good picture, it has to look a certain way. It's not that, we're trying to dress different for Instagram. But I feel like, it's like we also want to give people the best image of ourselves. So I feel like I don't post that much, but I feel like, online and on Instagram, I think I wouldn't be that active. I'd be more reserved, or like you said, the way I talk to my friends, the way I'd comment on my friends' post. Obviously, I'd still, like the post, but I feel like if it was in real life, I'd be more calm, I'd be more chill. Micromanaging is, I think, I nitpick, what I post, when I post, like with whom I post. It's not in a way where I want to tell other people I am a certain way, but I feel like, we have upheld ourselves to a certain standard.
Do you feel this is a pressure for you, or you guys are okay with it?
I think I'm fine with it.
Okay, good.
It's been a part of us for quite some time now, so we've been
certain
used to it.
things,
Yeah.
It's normalized.
It's normalized now. All right. I want to ask something that every parent probably is interested in knowing, and that is, a lot of parents are getting aware and more conscious about the age at which their children download or access these social media platforms, right? So according to you, what is a good age for youngsters to get onto this platform? And also, how many people in your friend circle or whom you know have hidden and done these things from their parents, and how can parents manage this situation better?
I think the best age, and I'm not really sure, someone has to fact check this, but I think the recommended age is 16. I'm not too sure, but
It's 13.
13, okay.
Instagram
But 16 is the
says
best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've deleted accounts that were made. Recently only it happened. I think in
Okay.
Australia or something, they passed a law where every account that was registered, under the actual age, under the age of 13, were deleted.
So I think in Australia they've passed a law that till you're 14 years of age, you can't get into social media.
Yeah, I think it's 13 now. That
13. But do you think at 13? No.
Definitely not. being a 13-year-old, if you were on social media, firstly, you wouldn't find any of your friends there because you would be the anomaly who is on social media. Because commonly, you would find, teenagers like 15, 16 years old on, that's when they start off using social media. But secondly, there's just too much exposure, not only just to like stuff which is like again explicit or something like that, but just stuff you shouldn't be venturing into when you're 13 years old. And there's definitely an age where you start knowing what you know, and then and it progresses, the knowledge you accumulate, it should be, and that should be natural the way it goes. And as it is very, it's abnormal that the stuff kids know right now shouldn't be known. Like maybe you didn't know what we like, not in the you get what I mean, yeah. But 13-year-old shouldn't have any access to social media. They should be, I would go to, if I were a parent, I would go to the stage where they would have that Nokia ka dabba, and then they would be roaming around with that. Yeah, but they should have no access to social media. YouTube is what they are confined to. You can watch YouTube videos, that's it.
You said you made Insta 4 years ago, so weren't you 12?
I made
Good
an
point.
Insta account for a different reason though, because I started. Ever since I was like, I think since I was 10 years old, I have been into music and playing songs and all of that, and I became a bit famous in my school, my old school, and and then and it slowly developed, and then I had a band, and now I'm making a album which is about to come out. So it has like 6 songs, and it's called Aroha.
So you sing or you play the guitar? Or?
I am the lead singer, and I'm a percussion guitarist. So I don't do leads and stuff, but yeah, I play the guitar while I sing. So we have like 4 people. There's Aditya, Jashan, and so Palash. So we have like this small band, and we're slowly developing and growing. Yeah. So that's the whole reason why I have been posting stuff since I was like 12. And again, if such a scenario does occur somewhere else, one of the parents should have control to what the kid sees, what the kid posts, what the kid is doing on the social media platform. That's very important. Yeah.
So I want to ask another question based on this. Being a psychologist, a lot of parents have come to me that their children have made fake accounts or catfish accounts. First, let me ask you, how many people in your experience, if I were to give you a scale, few, or many, how many do you think have made catfish accounts at a young age?
To catfish other people, or like
catfish,
to
or
mislead their parents?
To mislead their parents or whatever, but they've just made fake accounts, and they've operated those accounts under fake names or identities so that parents don't come to know that children are on social media. Few or many?
Few. Yeah.
A few.
Yeah, but like I know like they don't catfish their parents. It's like their account, but they block their parents' accounts.
Yeah.
Why do children want to block parents from their accounts, or what do you think is the reason?
I think I don't know, even if they aren't doing something that isn't right, I feel like if you're like doing a weird pose with your friends in a picture, and I feel like there's this embarrassment, I don't know, just to see your like, if your parents are seeing you like with the tongue sticking out in a picture, I feel like there's just like a certain level of embarrassment. And also I feel like parents they block them, not because their parents aren't allowing, but mostly it's because the parents want to follow their children as well. So I feel like somewhere it's also like a privacy issue, because this is my account for myself, and then they don't really want their parents to see what type of reels they're liking, who they're hanging out with, what they're posting and everything.
So it's also become like a sense of
privacy
and independence away from parents, right? But do you think that's wise?
I think my mom does not follow me on like my Instagram, and I feel like I wouldn't really mind it if she followed me, but I also appreciate, she told me like herself that my account is active now, but I'm not going to be following you because that's your own space with your own friends. Because even though she knows there's nothing wrong that I'm doing, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, just to let myself have my own space.
What do you think, Tanishka?
Yeah, it's fine, like if you don't let your parents follow you. I don't think it's like a big deal. And just because like you don't let your parents follow you doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. I think it's all right.
Okay, let it not be about parents following or not following, but when parents are not aware who's following you, or who you're befriending, or a lot of youngsters, or at least in my experience, have used social media to make friends with strangers, start chatting, and fall into some deep trouble, right? Have you all had any friends, and what restrictions should, in your opinion, should teenagers use when befriending strangers, or because see, I can understand it is fascinating that this boy has liked my picture and he's sending me flattering messages and compliments, and but sometimes they are just predators, or people with ulterior intentions or motives. And should parents be discussing these things with young kids, and what not to share on social media, what to share? What is your opinion on this?
Yeah, I'll tell you my personal experience. I feel like the only reason why I disagreed on when to give children Instagram, like I felt like 13 was an appropriate age, but I feel like that was only because I knew better because of an incident that happened with my childhood friend. So her mom she was very lenient. She was allowed to have Instagram at the age of, she was a year younger, so I think she was 11 or like 10 and a half. Okay, this was I think COVID time. And she made a public Instagram account and she would post pictures of herself. And I'm not gonna say the username, even though I clearly remember. So I think it was a guy, and it was definitely catfishing, because it was, the standard, like my name's something Aryan and I'm from California, and I could always tell that it was fake. But I think she still like continued to talk to him. And in the end,
Without her parents knowledge?
yeah, without her parents knowing. I feel like her mom knew that she had online friends, but I feel like her mom was not aware of the type of things that would happen, because she did have a group of online friends who were good people. But then there's also a different side of the spectrum, which is this guy. And few days later, I think few weeks after talking, he started sending her really inappropriate pictures, which I unfortunately saw, because she was 10 and a half, and me being 11 and a half, I feel like she thought maybe I would know something. And she blocked him, and then like 20 minutes later, she got added to a group chat, and he was, I think, 17, okay? Like I think, showed her his face, and he looked really old. And 20 minutes later, she got added to a group chat, and like he said verbatim, "Did you not like what you saw?" And I think that was another reason why I feel like I've always been really careful, because I feel like somewhere seeing that and seeing it happen to like a close friend of mine really, I think, instilled the fear that this does happen. And there's an online term called grooming. It's when like older, kids make younger kids, such as my friend, make them feel like they're mature enough to have a conversation or a relationship with kids of that age. So like an 11-year-old, and I think he was 16 maybe. So that is not an appropriate age gap at all. But
Correct.
I think, it's just they're meant to like led to believe that this is normal, this is fine. And somewhere I know my friend blamed herself as well, because, she entertained those chats. But I still think, measures that her mom, because I feel like she was really young, she really couldn't have known better. Because I think stranger danger, we've been taught stranger danger, but I feel like, when you're actually in that situation, I think it's a bit difficult for you to realize that you are. It's always, like, they don't seem that bad, because nobody evil is going to show it themselves. But, seeing that and seeing that message and how he reacted and how he probably enjoyed, like, sending those pictures to like an 11-year-old girl, I think it's really scary. But things her mom could have done was, because like what after like going through this, I realized that, you have to have a private Instagram account, so just nobody can see your pictures, just nobody can comment on your posts or message you. And I think it's also really important to, in the beginning, until you know better, to only, follow the people you know in real life. And up until a certain age, I feel like maybe it's right that your parents follow you. And her dad did follow her, but, this still ended up happening.
So I think one of the smarter things what parents can do is help their children keep a very private account.
Yes.
Be vigilant on who they are following, who's following them, and have these conversations with their kids about, that if you're on social media, people, especially girls, or even boys can receive inappropriate message, friendship requests, and to talk to your kids more about this. you know I think if this girl's mom would have spoken to her, she could have been more prepared, and as to whom she's talking and why.
I think she was very young. I think she was too young, in fact, to be on a site such as Instagram at 11 years of age and posting on a public account. And like, I don't know, it's just what really puts me off is that we didn't even know who he was. He could be a 30-year-old in some gao, and I just, we really it could just be anybody. And it's, I don't know, there are a lot of pedophiles on various social media sites. Even, I don't know if you know Roblox. It's a like a gaming thing, so you can play games with your friends, but that it's mostly kids, but that's the number one place for where all these predators lurk. And they, personally, I've not had an experience, but a lot of these 30-year-olds disguised as 6-year-olds, or 11-year-olds, being let's be friends and everything. And
I actually have a personal experience. Roblox is basically there's a bunch of games. Anyone can make a game, anyone can play a game. So it's again, it's very far from the topic of social media. But again, it's a social platform, I would say, because you're meeting people. There's voice chats. You're playing games, but again, you're meeting random people and online. Actually, what happened was one of my younger siblings, they were playing Roblox, and I'm not going to name anyone or any of the concept. I don't know, even the game, but they were playing Roblox, and so there was this random person. They had voice chats because they were playing on when I used to play 5 years back or something. So they were playing on my account, and I have voice chats enabled. So they were playing on my account, and there was just this bunch of teenagers. They shouldn't even be playing Roblox. It's meant for kids again, but so they were just yelling and abusing and here and there. What happened was basically after a point they tried contacting my sibling, and they wanted to talk to her, and they wanted to text her, and then they wanted her WhatsApp, and then they wanted to we'll video call sometime and all of that. And luckily I got I was just walking past, and then she's blabbering something, मेरे को भी खेलना है ये, मेरे को वो खेलना है. And I was just walking. I think I went to get water or something, and she's blabbering. I'm like, who are you talking to? And I'm talking to this bhaiya. I met on Roblox, and then now we're going to video call tonight. And then I obviously I was pissed, and then I tried to get a hold of him. I didn't talk at all, because then obviously they would just disconnect. And I got their WhatsApp number, and then I talked to my dad and stuff, but then nothing. They kind of escaped. But so being kids, I think this problem is very common for girls, and at this time and age, it's very common, because I know a lot of my friends, female friends, they've been affected. They're getting random messages from obviously fake accounts, and they're like she said, and especially if it's very young children, it's even more concerning. And it's just weird how a 30-year-old or 40-year-old, even an 18-year-old talking to a random 6-year-old, 7-year-old, sending stuff. That's just it's very weird and very concerning. And the thing that parents should do to it's you can't really stop it. You can't put an end to it as a parent, a parent being alone. But one thing you can you just make a barrier is that there's a lot of parental features and stuff on social media, and you should decide, and us giving our feedback on when they should start using social media is very subjective, because as she said, she had that experience, she gained the maturity, she started using social media. And I'm sure that the chances of something happening like this to her is very less, and she knows she is defensive, she knows how to handle such a thing. But if someone has no experience, and you feel like if they are not mature enough to use social media, then you should be the person who should decide for them. And that goes for everything, not only for social media.
And then children rebel. right? So, no, I understand what you're saying, and I think it's so important, especially like you mentioned, that parents need to become a little bit more aware, not allowing very young kids, and not waiting for governments to put a ban, right?
Yes.
I'm thinking that okay, only when government puts a ban, then it's like saying, would you hand a pack of cigarettes, to an 8-year-old or an 11-year-old or a 12-year-old? You wouldn't, right? And in some way, or you would say, okay, when they understand the repercussions or the consequences, and when they are mature enough, they can make the decision, but not right now when they are younger. So nobody is saying social media is bad, but like you mentioned, the dark side of social media is something that cannot be ignored, and parents need to, even if they have to look bad for some time to their kids, it's worth it to keep their kids safe from all these negative kind of experiences, or these sexually frustrated or ill-meaning predators out there, right? And I think, would you say the pluses of social media or screen usage outweigh the negatives, or what do you think? Because as a psychologist and as parents, we always think that it's going to break our children's self-esteem, and it's going to land them into expose them to a world where anybody can get in touch with them without parental knowledge, or get them into this very competitive spirit, or make them unhappy about who they are now. So do you think the negatives outweigh the positives? Have you seen that? Would you think the world would be a better place without people getting onto social media so early?
I think if social media is used in moderation, I think it's really beneficial, because I feel like, even though there are negative outcomes as well, I feel like, taking my younger brother as an example, he is allowed to do certain things like watch YouTube and everything, but in moderation. So, in Roblox, unfortunately happened to his sister. My brother, I've told him he's not allowed to add anybody, he's not allowed to chat because there's a chatting feature, I haven't enabled this. And in YouTube, my mom has told him not to YouTube Shorts. So I don't know if you know this, but nowadays sexual content coming in the algorithm of even kids is very common.
Yeah.
So my brother watches football, his algorithm is all football YouTube Shorts, but sometimes he's just scrolling, and I see something really obscene, it'd be either some Instagram model or something, and I just think to myself that how is this even related to what he's searching? So it's moderation. He's enjoying learning about his football players by only watching YouTube videos adhere to that idea. He's only allowed to play Roblox in the games that are appropriate for him without chatting with anybody.
Yeah.
So I think moderation really matters, because I feel like
Yeah.
we're evolving really well with, I feel like, ChatGPT and everything, which is helping me a lot. But I think as long as we don't get too influenced or too involved in it, I feel like there are a lot of positives that outweigh the negatives for me personally.
Okay. Anything you all want to add on this?
I feel like people should also educate themselves about what's happening. Like I really agree with what Anahat has said. But if you understand why your parents are doing this, it would just cause frustration to you, because my mom's not allowing me to do this, but everyone else is allowed to. So I feel educating your child also, tell them there's a ban on your YouTube because this is happening. You can't obviously say there's explicit stuff, but just say that there's some things that are not appropriate for your age.
Right.
And I think they understand. My brother understands as an 8-year-old that there's certain limits to what he's supposed to, and I think he follows them, which I really respect.
Great. So we shouldn't. What I'm understanding here is, from a teenager's perspective, is that if parents really talk, explain, give logical reasoning, children will understand. It doesn't have to be an authoritative or dictator, like a dictatorship kind of situation where you're just saying you can't use it, and that's where the rebellion comes from. But if you do explain it to your children, they do take wiser, make wiser decisions, right? What I have seen, people end up liking the negative or hate comments or trolling comments more, And don't you think that's training people to be mean? And think about it.
You know, can I give you an example? So
Yeah.
I saw an influencer's video where she was telling us about how Instagram, not only the video, it also promotes the comments that they think you're going to interact with. So it was like, I think it was like a man who was being very misogynistic, and the comments on her phone were all the comments saying, why would you do this? You're such an incel, you know, this is not the right way to think. And all the comments on her boyfriend's phone on the same video were the people agreeing with the guy, with the, you know, the guys who were agreeing with him, saying like, you know, he has the right mindset, he's a sigma and everything. So I feel like not only the video is being pushed, I feel like the comments are also being pushed to certain users based on what Instagram thinks we're going to interact with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Imagine that's happening. So they are so minutely studying a person's likes and dislikes just so that the person is hooked onto the platform.
Exactly.
And is constantly engaged with the platform so that they can promote their ads and, you know, basically in some or the other way have you on that platform to, you know, shoot ads and monetize you, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, and I think people should know this. It's no longer a neutral platform. It's no longer, you know, people posting neutral comments. But today I think I have learned something new where your comments also that you're watching or are being shown to you are the ones that, you know, resonate with you as a person, right? And yeah, so this is quite interesting. So all in all, there is so much we can talk about, you know, when it comes to online gaming, social media, being addicted to screens. But I guess you know, this has to be an ongoing conversation. It can't be encompassed within one episode. Okay, and
Yes,
before we
yes.
go, I want us to have some fun, right? And our audience also to learn a little bit through it. So I need you to ask or teach our viewers 3 Gen Z terms you think they wouldn't know today being used on social media platforms. Let's start with Tanishka.
Okay. So there's this term called doom scrolling where you just mindlessly scrolling and consuming whatever comes. It does not even mind if you like the content or not. You just scroll through it.
So it's called doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Like you're headed.
Doom.
Scrolling to doom.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this term has been like it's generalized at this point, and every teenager uses it. So it's locked in. It's being locked in, and I would say it's a state of mind, or that's how it's described. But basically, you have put aside your phone, your whatever else devices. You're now studying or doing something. You know, you're gymming, you're playing a guitar. I don't know, anything. You're focused. So that's a word. Maybe you need to you need to add to your vocabulary.
So you're focused on something productive other than your phone.
Yes.
So you're locked in over there. I think that's what we all need a little bit more of, right? Yes, Anahat.
I think my term would be grooming. It's not only just, I think, more on screens, but I think even in real life. So that's an instance where a person of a very significantly like higher age convinces somebody of the lower age that they are mature enough to have any sort of relationship with them. It could also be a very intensive like friendship where, you know, they tell each other everything, or a relationship where, you know, they share explicit pictures. So I think grooming is basically, I feel like, you know, the word, I think term arises from the older person kind of grooming the younger person into being a type, you know, a model of the person that they want to see. So, you know, they're going to instill like the values or, you know, certain ways that the younger person should act by making them believe that, you know, it's their idea and, you know, they're mature enough to handle it. But
Yeah.
usually
And it's something they want. They
yeah,
just don't know it
yes. And
yet, right?
yeah, that's why so many of these like groomers use the term that, you know, like they think that the other person, the younger person, is an equal, even though they obviously know they're not, but they make the younger person believe that, you know, they're both an equal with the same mindset and there's no advantage to anybody.
Yeah, and the most inappropriate part about this is that the groomer is the parasite in the situation who's constantly
Yes.
you know, feeding off the young person's energies, emotions, and
Yes.
And misguiding them.
Yes, it's like grooming them into the perfect mold
inappropriately.
of whatever they want to see in the younger person.
Yeah. And people should know that these behaviors and these kind of people exist, and we can't be handing over social media usage freely to our kids until, like Tanishka said, we educate them correctly on what is possible out there or not. And I guess, like you said, it's never going to go away completely, but knowledge is power, truly, in this situation, and that's the best thing we can equip our kids with, right?
Yes.
Great. But thank you so much, for coming and sharing your thoughts and sharing your experiences. I know that's what keeps this podcast or keeps this conversation so real. And I hope our, viewers have got some insights into how youngsters think, what their mindset is like, and how we can work with it, not around it. So thank you so much, and hope to see you guys soon again, and good luck to all of you.